I wish that everybody could become rich and famous to find out like that's not the answer.
Is there another baby in there? I wanted to start this video by saying no matter who you're talking about, what you're talking about, if you are cyberbullying someone, trying to bring them down, talking about them negatively, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, whatever platform it's on, to me it is not voicing your opinion, it is bullying. I don't know why so many people try to justify their opinions by saying it's their opinion, which in a way, yes, that's your opinion, but you're also bullying somebody. You're trying to bring somebody down, and I just don't understand it. I know that when people are coming from a negative place, they may not be happy with themselves, they may not be happy with their circumstances, and they're trying to bring other people down to make themselves feel better. But when people put negative things on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, all it really does is make them look like a person. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm saying it because you know what, there are other people on the other side of the screen and it's a real person that you're talking to, and I can guarantee that people would not say those exact same things to that person's face. If anything, say if you're talking about a celebrity, people might say something about that celebrity and they might like bash them or whatever, but then in person, if they were to see that celebrity, they'd probably ask for a photo and say how much they love them and all this other crap. So I just wanted to say that to preface this video because we have heard the news that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are taking a step back from the royal family, which first I say kudos to them, good for them, because you know what, I think that this is ultimately coming from a place of them not wanting to have to deal with some of what I was just talking about, dealing with people criticizing them and making up stories about them and basically nitpicking every single thing about them, from the way they look to the way they talk, the way that they raise their child, the way that they dress their child. Little Archie, who's so freaking cute, how could you say anything negative about that little guy? I just want to share, I guess, my point of view on some of this because I feel like me and many people can identify with this. You don't just have to have a big social media following to feel attacked by people. It might be somebody in your family who you feel attacked by, but somebody like Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, they experience it on such a grand scale. So I'm like really getting passionate here. I've seen a bunch of different headlines. This one was a Globe and Mail article, and the title was "Royal Family Scrambles to Defuse Crisis Over Future Roles of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle." Crisis? Like, it's just, the way that I am seeing this is two adults who want to live their lives more independently, raise their child in a way that maybe they want to, in a different environment, not necessarily in the same spotlight that they have in the royal family. The fact that they're calling it a crisis, I know it's breaking tradition, but they've already broken tradition. I remember seeing articles about Meghan Markle before they got married saying that she was, you know, a divorced woman, she's mixed race, all these things, and that she doesn't belong in the royal family. And I just thought, what? Like, aren't we beyond this kind of behavior, like this kind of talk? The actual statement that they gave on sussexroyal.com: "After many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make a transition this year in starting to carve out a progressive new role within this institution." Amazing. "We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. It is with your encouragement, particularly over the last few years, that we feel prepared to make this adjustment. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America. This geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, while also providing our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity. We look forward to sharing the full details of this exciting next step in due course as we continue to collaborate with Her Majesty the Queen, the Prince of Wales, the Duke of Cambridge, and all relevant parties. Until then, please accept our deepest thanks for your continued support." Amazing, unbelievable, so excited for them, so happy for them. But of course, it's come with crazy feedback. The Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in, where is it, in London? They took out the wax figures of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, which I find somewhat humorous. But then I saw this meme, it says, "And that is how it's done, my friends. If it no longer works for you, your family, or your emotional well-being, keep it moving." So I think part of why I wanted to talk about this and why I feel like I identify with this is because she's a mom. I'm a mom, and I know there's a lot of people out there, even if you're not a mom, you can identify with people trying to attack you from different angles. And at the end of the day, whether you are a celebrity, whether you are a member of the royal family, you are a human being and you have feelings. We all have feelings. And so people will try to tell someone like her, maybe, ignore what people say, ignore the tabloids, but they can truly impact your mental health, your well-being, and ultimately the way you live your life. Hey, look, who is it? Who is it? There have been a lot of rumors that they're going to be partially living in Canada. Dun, 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 dun. Obviously, we obviously would be like, oh yeah, that's great. I mean, Archie and Lily, they can be friends, right? Just joking. But I think that this picture does not look like Vancouver.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It is also rumored that Archie was with Meghan Markle's best friend, Jessica Mulroney, who is the daughter-in-law of former Prime Minister in Canada. I think they spent like a month or something here in Canada over the holidays. Here's a couple sentences from the article that I said was titled "Royal Family Scrambles to Defuse Crisis." It says the Queen and other members of the royal family are scrambling to resolve the growing crisis over the future roles of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle as Miss Markle headed back to Canada to stay out of the limelight. The Queen has reportedly ordered staff to move quickly to address the couple's demands for greater freedom and more financial independence. It also shares in this article that just weeks before the announcement, Prince Harry, who's 35, and Miss Markle, who's 38, had quietly registered Sussex Royal as a trademark for more than 100 products and services, according to the UK's Intellectual Property Office.
This is like totally kind of unrelated, but I hope I look half as good as she does at 38. She looks like really good for 38, yeah. Honestly. I feel like all I really have to offer to this is that I'm pretty uneducated when it comes to like the royal family or like the role that they actually play. I feel like in today's day and age, like now that it's 2020, whatever that means, that like it's really like what's the point, you know? Like and maybe it's just something for people to make a big deal out of, or like that people just make this huge thing that they're not part of the royal family anymore. They're like, they don't want to live that life, but like in a way, like I can't blame them. I'm surprised.
One thing I also read is that they were willing to give up a portion of the sovereign grant, like their portion of the sovereign grant, which is an annual stipend given to the royal family from the government. The grant is derived from revenue generated by the Crown Estate, which is a $24.4 billion real estate portfolio that includes buildings, parks. Here's the thing. If Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were to completely have no financial whatever from the royal family, from whatever you call it, they would do very well. Whether that was public speaking, whether Meghan Markle went back into acting, they would do so well. Yeah. Like, I don't even know. It's almost like people are scared for them. Like, how are they going to be financially stable?
Yeah, I don't know what Meghan made on Suits or like how much she saved. I'm sure she's financially very stable,
right? Yeah,
doesn't need any financial backing from the royal family at all,
right? And to me, obviously I don't know them personally, but they seem like the kind of people who would be happy living in a normal house, maybe with some security. But you know, I guess part of too maybe why people are upset is people would think, why would they want to give up that life? Why would they want to give up the glitz, the glamour, living in Buckingham Palace? And you know what? I think it's probably overrated.
Yeah,
truly.
I'm sure it is, yeah. I know that Jim Carrey once said that I wish that everybody could become rich and famous to find out like that's not the answer.
Right.
Basically that's like paraphrase, it's not word for word, but something along that. Like people think that, oh, like if you're rich and if you're famous, like you'll just be happy.
Right.
And like it's you got it made, but like that's not it at all.
No. And I would say the higher profile that you have as a person, the more money that you have, the more people want from you. The more less genuine people you might come across, or you might start questioning people's intentions. Do they really want to be my friend?
Totally.
Are they really someone who wants to know me, know my life, be part of my life, or do they want something from me? And in my like Miss Universe Canada travels, I've encountered some people who have a lot of money, and I can tell you that they are no happier, if not less happy than us normal folk. And the thing I think
to kind of backtrack a little bit, I know that Ed Sheeran, for example, I was watching like an interview with him on YouTube, and he basically like took a year away from like everything just because it got to the point where nobody really like asked him like how he was or how he was doing this, like wanted something from him. Right. Like every morning you wake up to like text, like kind of like asking demands, not like, oh, like how was your sleep, or like little simple things like that, you know?
Right. Meghan Markle, where is it here? This interview. Okay, we just, oh. Look at that. She's trying to see, who's there? Okay, so we just rewatched the little 1 minute. The little 1 minute chunk of Meghan Markle's interview where she basically said she's not okay.
Yeah, and this will probably echo what you said. I don't really know. It's so easy to forget that she's a person.
Yeah,
you know,
that's yeah.
Straight up, and it's so easy just to hide behind message boards and hide behind a keyboard and be like, oh, like I can't believe she would abandon the royal family like that, or however you want to say it. And ultimately, you just got to put yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Like you really do. Like it's everybody goes through personal struggles, and for her, she's obviously in the spotlight, and it's magnifies all these little problems that she has because in interviews like that, she's just like asked over and over again, like kind of like why or like what like. And I'm sure it just builds up and it's super challenging to deal with that. Kate
Middleton went through this as well. When each of the children of Kate Middleton, when they were born, and then when Meghan Markle had Archie, they like present the baby to the press basically, or like they come out. And this will be like the day after, a couple days after they give birth. And I remember seeing news articles about Kate Middleton, and she came out with the baby, and they were saying things along the lines of, she still looks pregnant. Is there another baby in there? Yeah, things like that. People might say, ignore the people, whatever. But imagine yourself having this newborn baby. You just grew for 9 months. Your body has gone through so much. Your mind, because it's a mental game too. And then you're having to, for them, like, that's just part of their duty. Like, they, whether they wanted to or not, they probably had to do that, right? And step out with a newborn baby, no matter how tired they are, no matter how comfortable, confident she feels in her body, in her clothes. And she would know that people would be probably looking at every inch of her, including her freaking eyelashes or something.
Judgmental lenses. So it's tough. Heavy, I imagine, like super heavy on anybody. Like, I don't think we're wired to deal with that kind of stuff. And like, how to even deal with that stuff, you know?
Right, yeah, and like, she would have already probably dealt with some tabloid type things being an actor.
Right.
But it's just on a whole other scale with the royal family. Anyways, there's not really like a main point of this video. I just wanted to talk about it in a way that's different than what I've seen, because a lot of people, I think, in the articles I've seen, it's like made out to be this big crisis. It's almost like it's devastating that they're leaving, and if anything, they're probably gonna go lead and live better, more fulfilling lives for them. For them. Not for anybody else, for them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's so easy for like us normal people to like comment about it and think that we know what they're going through. I'm sure that they're not just gonna like say see you later and never see any of them again. Like, I think that's absolutely not the case, but again, we don't really know. All we can really hope for is for the best for them, and that they're gonna live a life that they really love.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what we all want.
Wants to be happy.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're happy.
Hopefully they come to Canada.